Scott Simpson here, Guilty as Charged podcast. So excited. Today, we're going to bring you something a little bit different. We've been exploring the options the Chargers have, the fantasy tools they're going to be using this year. Right now, we're going to jump into a fantasy best ball draft on Underdog Fantasy. If you've never drafted before, let me explain best ball to you. It is a set and forget type draft. So you draft your team now. You don't do any management during the season. You wait until see at the end of the year what has happened, and then you go back and check and see if you have cashed and placed. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build our team. We're going to be drafting, and let's see where we're drafting from. Looks like we're drafting from the 4th position. So a couple of goals. We want to understand a little bit about how best ball works, the strategies that are used. I'll talk a little bit about my strategy, what I'm doing as I'm drafting. We're also going to look at the Chargers players and kind of see where they're being drafted along the way. I'm sure you're going to be interested to see where Austin Eckler goes, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, all of the key cogs, Jared Cook as well. So let's jump in. We're starting right away. There's a 30-second clock, a timer. So you have to be ready. You have to go. You can queue up your players if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of wait and see and take each pick as we go. Good news is for us, we have a couple of friends of mine here in the draft. Mike Collins, one of my partners over at the FF Millionaires. He is in the 2nd slot. I also have my friend, Mr. Tim Turner. He is in the 6th position right after me. Jordan Vanek, 1 over on Twitter. He is in the 7th. Phil, the Burn Zone, is in 9th. I have Dave Kluge from Football Guys. He is over in position, it looks like, position 11. So a bunch of great fantasy friends here today. Do a little drafting and see what's going on. Our first draft pick was Saquon Barkley, a little bit of an upset. Most of the time, as you can see, Christian McCaffrey is the 101 or the 1-1 in the draft. Mike Collins went with Christian McCaffrey. Let's see what I'm going to have to do. It's going to leave me between probably Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook. I'm hoping I can get Dalvin Cook. I'm a big Dalvin Cook believer this year. I think he stayed healthy last year, proving some of the doubters wrong. I think he has a big season this year as well. One thing I do want to do if I do get Dalvin Cook, and I'm not going to get Dalvin Cook, is decide how and when I'm going to get Alexander Madison, because you can't get one without the other in best ball in case your lead RB goes down. You want to have the backup in stable for sure. Well, not for sure, but that's one of the strategies. I am going to go Derrick Henry. He has been drafted now. I do believe he still gets his workhorse volume role where every fall leading into the winter, he just steamrolls friends. So I picked him up with my 1.4 pick. We can also go to the board, see if we can change our view here. This is my first time drafting here on the desktop. Normally I draft on my app. Underdog is a newer, I think they came out last year. They're a newer best ball site. They're from the developers of Draft. I remember Draft a couple of years ago. Got picked up by FanDuel, while the guys who brought you Draft are bringing you Underdog Fantasy. There's lots of great games on here. Pick 'em. You can do spreads against players. You can do rivals. There's lots of great things you can play. Parlays as well, different picks. So it's a great place. Check it out. Use code NIMBLE if you do go there. I'm on there. I love Underdog. I rep Underdog. So let's go back over and look and see the last couple of picks. Steven Roto, he went Alvin Kamara at the 5. Tim Turner, he went Jonathan Taylor, no surprise there. Jordan went Ezekiel Elliott instead of Travis Kelce. I've seen, Kelce go before Zeke a lot of times. But the volume is going to be there for him. Dak is going to be back. I do like that pick. Last year, we were drafting him at the 103, 104. So, a little bit of a buy up there. I think Elliott has been going at the 1-9, but it's the first round. You get who you get, who you want. You go after your guy. And like a Chris has gotten Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce last year, one of the all-time greatest season ever for a tight end in receptions and in yards. I mean, dude was rocking almost 1,500 yards last year. So that's a great first-round pick. Phil at the Burn Zone, he went with Tyreek Hill. I mean, back-to-back Chiefs, the 8 and the 9 in the first round. Nick Chubb, and then Aaron Jones. I love that pick for Dave Kluge at the 11 position. Aaron Jones this year, if Aaron Rodgers does not play, he has a great opportunity just to really cement himself in that top 5, category of RBs with the volume and the amount of just leaning that the Packers are going to need to do on him this year. Cam Akers went with the last pick in the first round. I like that pick. That's a strong pick. I've been picking up Cam Akers in the turn there as well. No Austin Eckler. Let's see if he goes next. I pick Austin Eckler anywhere from the 1-9. If I want the running back, oh no, he did not go. Najee Harris jumps Austin Eckler. But we also had Joe Mixon. Oh, we have a lot of Joe Mixon here. Joe Mixon, we have Stephon Diggs. All right, my pick would have been Eckler. I really think Eckler has a big season this year. I think he's in the top 8 in RBs. So other people don't believe that. That's fine. It's hard to pass up. Chris got Eckler at the 2-5. I think that is excellent. I love that. Let's look and see. No, that's just changing my draft. Okay, well, that didn't work at all. I'll get back into my live draft. Okay. That's not great. Just lost my draft for me. My draft just disappeared. Let's see if I can get back into it before my turn comes around. Okay. Active. There we go. All right. It ran away. That was not what I wanted. Okay, we're back. I'm on the clock, actually. At the end of the second round, I am going to go with DeAndre Swift. I really like DeAndre Swift this year. I'm going to draft him. Excellent. Hopefully I got him. I did. I got DeAndre Swift. All right. Excellent. That's definitely what I wanted to do there. DeAndre Swift has an opportunity to be an RB1 as well. So my team is starting off pretty strong in the first round. I grabbed Derrick Henry, second round. I went DeAndre Swift. Okay, here we go. Get our view back here. All right, let's recap the second round here as we go. Had a little bit of technical issues to start it. So in the second round, Najee Harris was the first pick. We had Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Austin Eckler at the 2.5. I think it's a steal there. Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams slipping. I went with my man Swift. George Kittle went right after me at the 210. Mike Collins just grabbed Justin Jefferson. And then we have Darren Waller going at the end of the second round, the last pick in the second round. I like that so far. My team got 2 running backs. I'm going to be looking to target a wide receiver or a quarterback. Maybe not a quarterback. I'm gonna go wide receiver. I think that's where I'm going to go here. I'm up next. So let me go to my wide receiver options. Okay. Ooh, I've got Keenan Allen or DK Metcalf. All right. So here's what's going to happen. If I decide to go Keenan Allen, which for this purpose, I think it would be good to go Keenan Allen if he's available. I'm also going to be looking to get Justin Herbert later. I want that value. I'm not going to have one without the other. He's my top receiver, my wide receiver 1. I'm going to want to pair him up with a strong quarterback. So let's do that. So I'm going to go Keenan Allen. I'm going to draft him. And that's going to set the course of my draft for the rest of this draft. I'm going to make sure that I get Justin Herbert. I need to have that. Now, you might say, that limits your upside or that's going to cap it if they both have a bad game. That's true. Well, if they both have a bad game, you're not going to win, right? And if one has a bad game, the other's probably going to have a bad game. Probably more so if the quarterback has a bad game, the wide receiver is probably not going to have a great game. So I'm actually betting on the opposite. I'm betting on upside. I'm betting on the upside of Keenan Allen, and I'm betting on the upside of Justin Herbert. He had 31 touchdowns last year as a rookie, missing a game, or he only had 15 starts. So he didn't start the first game. So that really shows, to me, he could have 35 to 38 touchdowns this year. So I'm looking at double-digit touchdown possibility for Keenan Allen. That's why I picked him there. At the 3-5, Stephen Roto went with J.K. Dobbins. After that, Michael Thomas at the 3-6. Jordan Vanix picked up Miles Sanders. It's a pretty late fall for Miles Sanders. I've normally seen him going a little bit earlier. I like that value. Chris grabbed DK Metcalf at the 3-8. I do like DK. I've grabbed DK myself in that third round swing. I think DK has a lot of upside, a lot of value. But for the purposes of this podcast, I'm going Chargers. I'm trying to build that Chargers stack. I couldn't get Austin Eckler in my position, but I could get Keenan Allen. All right, so we have DK go off the board at 3-8. Amari Cooper drafted at the 3-9. Let's see what happens next at the 310 on the board. Best available for drafting purposes. Wide receiver, we've got Allen Robinson. Patrick Mahomes has not been drafted. Josh Jacobs is available, and there's no tight ends coming off right now as a value. David Montgomery was the selection. Let's see what Dave Kluge does at the 311. He has Allen Robinson. I like that. That is a sound squad so far. Let's take a look and see what Dave's working with. Dave's squad is Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, and Allen Robinson. So same thing. I have 2 RBs and then a wide receiver. But one of the reasons you do that, listening to and talking to people like Field Yates, is that value scarcity for running back particularly. You're not going to have as many at the position. There's more wide receivers. There's more in the top 40. The average is going to be, as you drop down into that bottom section of the 40, the wide receivers are going to be outpacing the running backs by 4 or 5 points. So you want to kind of load up on the running backs a little bit earlier, unless you're a 0 RB guy like my man Denny Carter, and then you do whatever you want. No, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell grown men how to draft or women how to draft. You can do what you want. So let's take a look at the recap of who's gone. Dave Kluge went with Allen Robinson at 311. The last pick in the 3rd round was Terry McLaurin. The 4th round started with Josh Jacobs. And then Julio Jones at the 4-2 for Dave. He's got 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Patrick Mahomes finally went at the 4-3. CeeDee Lamb, one of my favorite wide receivers last year. My team name in one of my leagues was CD's TDs. And I had your boy CeeDee Lamb on that team. Mike Evans rolled in at the 4-5. I am 4 picks away. Let's see who is up on my radar. Right now, quarterback Josh Allen is available. Wide receiver, I've got Chris Godwin, Adam Thielen, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore. Running backs, Travis Etienne. Also have Myles Gaskin and Mike Davis. We'll see what happens with the next Jordan. So Jordan grabbed. Jordan got DJ Moore. Well, he's a Carolina fan, so I understand where that pick came from. Tim is up next at the 4-7. I'm going to be surprised if I get my guy, but we'll see. Steven's taking the clock down on this one. All right. He went with Myles Gaskin. That was who I was looking to grab. So I'm going to reshuffle and see at wide receiver. I do like Chris Godwin. I've got Jamar Chase, Lockett. Godwin to me is a steal here. I'm going to go with Godwin. That's a great value as my wide receiver too. And now I'm working with, I'll go recap my team so far. Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, and Chris Godwin. I think that's a pretty strong group to lead out your best ball team. When you're making a best ball team, what you really want to do is you want to shoot for upside. You're looking for those weeks, particularly down the end of the season. Who is going to put you into the playoffs? Who's going to win you the money at the end of your league? Excuse me. I do a little drink of water there. Okay, here we go. Let's do a little bit of recap. Robert Woods went right after I selected Chris Godwin at the 410. My guy, Josh Allen. If I had not gone Justin Herbert, or I had not put myself on the track for Justin Herbert, I probably would have tried to snag Justin Allen at my pick. Travis Etienne went at the last pick in the 4th round, and now we're starting the 5th. So if I look at who is available for me in 4 picks, let me pull up the quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, this might be, we just had someone draft. I think I can get Justin coming back. So I'm not going to try to snag him on this one. I'm rolling a little bit of the dice. We will see what happens. But I do want to check out my running backs and my wide receivers. I saw Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett, Kenny Galladay, Deontay Johnson. I really do like Deontay Johnson this year as well. Let's see if Mike Collins does. Nope, Mike Collins took Adam Thielen. I know Mike Collins. He's my friend. He's my partner over at the FF Millionaires. He loves Deontay Johnson. I'm surprised he got to me. Okay, so right now I'm stacked with 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I could go either way, or I could go tight end, and there's no one I really want to do. So I'm going to be leaning here. You know what? I'm going to get my very first share, I believe, of Tyler Lockett. I have no Tyler Lockett so far. I like him as my wide receiver 3. He has those big games with upside. So I've got Tyler Lockett as my wide receiver 3. And now when we come back into the 6th round, I'm going to try to snag Justin Herbert, because I don't think I'll be able to get him any other time. So now it becomes a Justin Herbert watch and just a sweat. And a sweat, if you don't know what a sweat is you're hoping you win and you're hoping you don't lose. You're just sweating it out. It's a gambling term. And personally, I'm a gambler. So yeah, that's where I got it from gambling. So all right, Deontay Johnson off the board after Lamar Jackson just went. So Lamar Jackson, Deontay Johnson at the 5-6. Jordan Vanek has 3 running backs, 1 wide receiver. I'm wondering if he splashes and goes Kyle Pitts here. I know he does like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is nope. He goes with Kenny Galladay. Kyle Pitts is not going to come back to me either. He has been drafted at that turn, that 5-6 turn in almost every best ball draft I've been in. Especially the news that Julio Jones is on the trade block, getting moved out. It immediately vaults him up to the wide receiver 2 in that offense, which means 20 to 30 more targets. So it does mean more coverage and not as much. He's not going to have as much opportunities for one-on-ones, but I still like him. I mean, he's just a dominant athlete. So we have Chase Edmonds off the board, Dak Prescott. Okay, Justin Herbert is the next one up there on the old automated pick list for the quarterback. So you can sweat that. Dak Prescott at the 5-9, Jamar Chase at the 5-10. Dave Kluge's up. He's got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Let's see where he goes. I'm just praying it's not Justin Herbert. I mean, he doesn't have a wide receiver in the hunt there, and so I'm not sure he would do that. He didn't. He went Kyle Pitts. That's exactly what I was thinking would happen. Kyle Pitts not surviving the 5th round, another draft. Kyle Pitts, I love that for Dave. It scares me for our chances of winning this. It's only a $5 league, but Scotty, Nimble W Numbers on Twitter, wants to win. That's what I do. I mean, I think everybody here at the Guilty as Charged podcast wants to win. We're not losers, right? We're winners. So, and I mean, we are winning. All right, Courtland Sutton, the last pick in the 5th round. All right, now we've got the sweat. We've got to see who can make it back. A couple people do have quarterbacks already, so that is good. We've got the sweat right now if Justin Herbert gets picked. Nope, we've got Javonte Williams. I love that. All right, Dave does not have a quarterback, but the next 2 do before we get to me. So if Dave goes Justin Herbert here, I'll be surprised. I'm guessing he goes, if anybody looking at his team, running back is great. He went Mike Davis. We're close. We've got 3 bullets to dodge. Chris at the 6-5, Jordan at the 6-6, and then Tim at the 6-7. And then I think we'll be okay. Cooper Kupp just went. Phil is on the clock. He has no running backs. He is going 0 RB. And I did trash 0 RB today for fun, but I do that all the time. Shout out Denny and all the 0 RBites. All right, he went with Kareem Hunt. First RB, not a bad RB if you're doing 0 RB. I love Kareem Hunt. He's projected here on Underdog to go at about 200 points this season, which I think is excellent. All right, next. I don't know about the next pick. Our boy Robinson. Oh man, I don't know. I thought James was kind of on the out. So all right, Jordan Vanek is up next. He is at the 6-6. We are 3 picks away, really 2 bullets to dodge. He went Hawkinson. What a great pick. Hawkinson is my tight end 3 this year. It goes for myself in fantasy. I'm going to go Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, Pitts, and then Kittle. Excuse me. All right. Got 1 more. See what Tim's going to do. Tim went Justin Herbert. Tim, you're killing me. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure why Tim did that. That was crazy. Tim does not have any connection to Justin. He's just getting the best quarterback. That's fine, Tim. I'm not gonna crush you. I will later though, crush you on Twitter for taking Justin Herbert for me. All right. So I'm going to pivot a little bit now and look and see. Russell Wilson is still on the board, and I do have Tyler Lockett. So I think that's the play right now. You do need to stack up, particularly one of your quarterbacks and one of your wide receivers, at least one. At the very least, I'm going to try to get Tom Brady later since I have Chris Godwin, and we'll see if we can get another wide receiver and make it happen. So I'm not totally disappointed when you lose out on Justin Herbert by a pick. You get Russell Wilson as a consolation prize. You got to be ready to pivot when you're in best ball. Life comes at you fast. All right, after me, DJ Shark went off the board at 6'10". Odell Beckham at 6'11", and the last pick of the 6th round was Will Fuller. It's a little bit early for me on Will Fuller. Not that he isn't going to be boom or bust. He is going to be boom, and that's what you want him in best ball. But I think you could have gotten him. Maybe this is just his last chance. So next pick for my man as well for the first pick, he went with Malcolm. Oh no, sorry, that's Hollywood Brown. And then we have Raheem Mostert at the 2-7, T Higgins, and then myself, Nimble W Numbers is up. So I'm going to pivot off of the quarterbacks, check out the running backs and the wide receivers. I've got Juju, Debo, Devonta Smith. I do like them. A lot of good options there. But I've got Trey Sermon there. I'm going to go Trey Sermon for the San Francisco 49ers. And that is a pure gamble. I'm not going to lie. Right now, there is nothing that is indicating that Trey Sermon is going to be the RB1. Raheem Mostert just went off the board 2 picks before, but I'm betting by the end of the season, I already have Swift, I already have Derrick Henry. By the end of the season, he will be in the lead back in that offense, or he'll be getting enough shares in that offense that it can just drive me down the stretch, win this league, collect the cash. So that's my thinking. So far, I'll recap my team. I've got Russell Wilson, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Trey Sermon, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, and Tyler Lockett. So lots of big names, folks you've heard of. Now what we have to do is we have to transition to find that value. Last year, I wrote an article for nimblewnumbers.com called Wide Receiver 2 Theory. What that theory proposed is that in general, wide receiver 1s are overvalued in fantasy football. Wide receiver 2s are undervalued. So what we're going to do next is kind of look and see where are some of those values, particularly at the wide receiver position to be had, right? Running backs are strong, but you need to have a little bit more depth at the wide receiver position if you want to win these leagues. So I might stick to 5 running backs and then 7 to 8 wide receivers. We're also going to see where the tight ends are when they come back to me. So let me recap some of the picks. I've been talking for a bit, and maybe you're listening on the podcast and you're not able to join us via YouTube. So T. Higgins, and then I drafted Trey Sermon at the 7-4. Robbie Anderson went next, 7-5. 7-6 was Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, Super Bowl Lenny, whatever you want to call him. Jalen Hurts at the 7-7. Melvin Gordon at 7-8. Tyler Boyd, the burn zone picked him up at the 7-9. Jerry Jeudy at 7-10. And now we are on to Damian Harris at 7-11. I've never seen Damian Harris at 7-11. I actually see him go a little later, but I do like that pick. I have a lot of Damian Harris, and particularly an underdog this year. I think I have over 50% of my teams are rostering him. I do believe in him being the lead back. Dave tweeted that out earlier as well. I should have seen that one coming. I can see some of those things coming sometimes, but not all the time. All right, next up, the last pick in the 7th round was Curtis Samuel, and then we have Aaron Rodgers. What's going to happen with him? It could be a steal, could be a trap. At the 8th one, that's a great pick. I love that if it pans out. If not, you're not winning the league. Matt Ryan went right next. I do believe that Dave Kluge has Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Let me make sure. Let me just check and see. I believe that is what's going on here with Dave. Yes, he does. Well played, Dave. That strategy, you see, I'm not the only one employing it. Trying to get yourself a quarterback and a wide receiver 1. It does behoove you in best ball. You're trying to get the best amount of points. And the way best ball works is you don't set a roster each week. The computer sets it for you. It plays your best players, your best team, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do anything but draft and then step away and watch and see what happens, which is really fun. All right, so we had Juju Smith-Schuster go, Noah Fant go, Michael Gallup, Devonta Smith. I was hoping he'd get to me. He did not. All right, let's take a look at the tight end position and see where that is at. We've got Dallas Goedert, Logan Thomas, Tyler Higbee. Those are okay picks. If any of them get back to me, maybe I'll consider them. I'm not really in love with any of them. Wide receiver, Debo, Laviska Shenault, Jalen Waddle. It's not a bad pick. Brandon Cooks is a value there at Houston. I like that pick. Let's see what happens there. For running back, we've got Michael Carter, Ronald Jones, Zach Moss, Tony Pollard. A lot of great backs there. I can wait. I think I'm going to try to target wide receiver. We've had a wide receiver run. Dallas Goedert just went. I'm going to be choosing Brandon Cooks. And hear me out on Brandon Cooks. I know the Texans are going to be hot garbage this year. Just, the worst. But Brandon Cooks, in his 5 out of his 6 NFL seasons, he has finished in the top 20. He's had over 1,000 yards. So this man is consistent. 1 year, 2 years ago, he did not. He had some concussion issues. He was out a little bit. But he was back last year. I don't care who's throwing him the ball. He's had no one throwing him the ball. You know what I mean? Tom Brady throwing the ball. So I'm not going to say no. Drew Brees throwing the ball. Okay, so not nobody. All right. But nobody lately. All right, Deshaun Watson, fine. I think, though, that whoever throws him the ball, if it's Deshaun Watson or if it's, I don't know, a noodle arm, I still think he can get you some points in best ball. I think it's worth the risk. Okay, so let's go and talk. James Conner went right after Cooks. Logan Thomas went. Laviska Shenault was the last pick in the 8th round. And now I'm back almost up again. Michael Pittman, first pick in the 9th round. I'm going to check out my tight end options and see what is brewing. It looks pretty ugly. Oh, no. Irv Smith. I love Irv Smith. All right. I will snag Irv Smith unless I see a quarterback that I'm in love with. Well, oh, man, I do have Matthew Stafford. But let's see. Let's see if Tom Brady can get back to me. And I am going to see if I can snag Irv Smith. I do think Irv Smith is going to break out this year. You saw what he's capable of last year when he had his multiple touchdown game. I do like Irv this year. He's going to be on a lot of my teams as well. Welcome to the Nimble with Numbers team, Mr. Irv Smith. Okay, so far, I'll run down my team. I've got Russell Wilson as my QB, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Trey Sermon as my RBs, my wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, and Irv Smith. Mike Williams just went right after Irv Smith. That is the next Charger that was available. I didn't want to double stack my Chargers receivers. I don't think that's a good viable strategy. I think stacking your receiver and your quarterback are good. Stacking your quarterback and your running back are good, or a tight end even. But I'm not going to double stack teammates normally. So when I locked in with Keenan Allen, I kind of meant no more Chargers for me. Or if I did in running back, it might be a backup running back. All right. After Mike Williams, Tim at the 9-6 went with A.J. Dillon. Matthew Stafford off the board at 9-7. And we're almost at the end of the 9th round. So the way that best ball works too is there's 18 rounds. You don't have the normal 16. You get 2 more players, so you have a little bit more flexibility. Roster construction can vary from 2 to 3 quarterbacks, 4 to 6 running backs, 5 to 8 wide receivers, 2 to 3 tight ends. So we're going to just see how this leads us and where the value is at the end. Right now, we have 1 quarterback, 1 tight end each, and then 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers. So really anything's on the board. I might be looking quarterback. We come back, see if I can get Tom Brady, pair him up. I might end up getting Deshaun Watson. You never know. He can come back off the bench. You don't need him every week. You don't start 3 quarterbacks. The way it is, it pulls the best performance from your quarterback. So maybe he does get suspended for the first half of the season, or 10 games. Who knows? But if he comes back, plays the last 6, balls out, got him at the end. So we'll see if that happens. All right, Tom Brady didn't just go up the board, so I won't be getting Tom Brady. I'm going to have to wait and see where the value is when we come back. All right, Tony Pollard, Antonio Brown, last pick in the 9th round. Into the 10th, Jarvis Landry. That's a steal. Beginning of the 10th round. I really like that. If Jarvis was around when I was picking, I would have snagged him up. All right, Dave Kluge on the clock at the 10-2. Checking out the wide receivers and the running backs, Ronald Jones, Kenyon Drake, Gus Edwards. I don't hate Gus Edwards this year, actually. I think I'll have some big games in that offense. That offense is geared for running. Joe Burrow's available. Trevor Lawrence is available at quarterback. I am about 5 picks away, trying to decide which quarterback I want to take. Well, Joe Burrow is just gone, so I can't take Joe Burrow. I do. See how far Deshaun Watson's down. Deshaun Watson's down pretty low. Okay. All right. I can wait on quarterback if I'm not going to go Deshaun Watson. Mecole Hardman just went off the board at the 10-5. And I'm 3 picks away. I'm leaning towards Gus Edwards or Kenyon Drake. I'm not sure. For running backs, wide receivers, I'm not sure I'm in love with the wide receivers right now. Jalen Reagor's on the board. Gabriel Davis, Darnell Mooney. Tyler Higbee was just selected at the 10-6, so I am 2 picks away. Cole Beasley's still around. He's a value, but I do think that Gabriel Davis will emerge this year and eat into his value. So I'm not sure if he's as much of a value as I think he is. So Ronald Jones just went off the board at the 10-7. We are up next after Mr. Steven Roto. Let's see what he does here. He went Ryan Tannehill. Okay, so we weren't going to do that anyway. We are up. I'm going to look at running back, and I think I like running back here better than wide receiver. And to me, it comes down to Kenyon Drake and Gus Edwards. I'm going to lean Kenyon Drake. I think their team is going to struggle this year at times. I know they ended the year poorly, and it's not the deepest of thought processes, but they signed him to over $7 million a year. They're going to put him on the field, and so I do want to have a little bit of that action. They haven't really targeted Josh Jacobs as a running back out of the backfield, getting those passes, those PPRs. It's a half-point PPR, so hopefully I pick up a little action on Kenyon Drake with a half-point PPR. Right after Kenyon Drake went Gus Edwards, and then David Johnson. So we are at 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 QB, 1 tight end. And QB-wise, you know what? I think I'm going to roll the dice next and either snag Trevor, Kirk Cousins, or Baker Mayfield. I'm leaning Kirk Cousins because I have Irv Smith. That could be a nice little tandem there, pairing up my tight end and his QB. So we'll see if I can get, I've got 3 picks to survive. Devontae Parker just went from Miami at the 10-12. That's not a terrible pick, but it's not a great pick either with Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller. So, I mean, somebody's going to get hurt for that to happen. Or he just wants to win week 1 or get a lot of points in week 1 from Parker. I'm not sure how viable that strategy is going to be long term. All right, 2 picks away now. Rashad Bateman. I do like Bateman this year. Baltimore does shore up the inside of their wide receiving core. We'll just see if they can get the ball outside at all, Bateman, instead of just inside. They love to throw the ball inside. It's harder to throw the ball outside in the NFL, just in case you're not aware of the way the schemes work. Throwing the ball in the middle of the field with a quarterback right in front of them, a little bit easier. Getting the ball on the edges, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for a lot of quarterbacks to do. And it's been a challenge for Lamar Jackson. They haven't schemed him that way. Okay, Trevor Lawrence is off the board. I am going to go Kirk Cousins. How do you like that? I like it. It's not great. I don't love it. I like it though. He will have his weeks, and with Jamar Jefferson in the stable, and Adam Thielen in there, and Irv Smith, you have 3 upsides, and you never know. Our man Dalvin Cook, take one to the house as well. So there's touchdown equity to be had from all those players and kind of feeding into Kirk Cousins. He's not great though, and I'm not sure if you guys saw the interview with Justin Jefferson. He was just asked by I believe, I saw who it was. That doesn't matter. But he was asked, what's the difference between, Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins? What would that have been if he could have gotten, coming? And, he didn't trash Kirk at all, but, he did not, he just compared him, and he just talked about, sorry, it was Joe Burrow is who he compared to. I think it was. And he's talked about how he doesn't mind getting hit. So whoever it was, my story's terrible. So we'll recant that story. I'll go back and do a little research and make sure I have the story right. But long story short, Justin Jefferson did not mean to, I don't believe, trash Kirk Cousins, but it kind of just came out, that Kirk isn't very mobile back there, doesn't want to get hit. And we've seen that. He likes to flee. So Kirk's going to have his games where he flees and he does not do well, but then he's going to have his games where he bounces back and he gets you, that 30 points you need to win the week. So I think he is an upside play at the QB2. You could do worse. Him and Tannehill are some of the bottom end of my QB2s that I will take when I'm in a best ball draft. So, all right. So some picks to cap and recap where we've been. I took Kirk Cousins. Mike Gesicki went off the board. Right after that, we had Marvin Jones go. Darnell Mooney. I really like Darnell Mooney. We had a hugs. We had a hug, right, from Henry. Henry Ruggs went at the 11-8. That's a weekly winner right there. DFS never had the week that I wanted last year, but I'm sure this year he'll bounce back. Evan Ingram at the 11-9. Wow, he has fallen far from grace. We have Nelson Aguilar at the 11-10. I love that pick. That's a great upside pick. We've got Rondale Moore from Dave Kluge at the 11-11. Runyon. I love it. At the 11-12. It's the last pick in the 11th round, and we're on to the 12th round. So the 12th round, I'm going to be looking right now for upside. Not necessarily if somebody gets hurt, but I'm going to be looking for positional upside and just a path in my thought process to more targets, to more volume in a scenario, in an offense. So we're going to be looking to try to find those wide receiver twos, those breakouts that are going to be a little bit more viable right now. And I'm sure other people are as well. I like that Rondale Moore pick by Dave Kluge. Let's see what he does and follows it up with his second pick here as his back-to-back kind of sandwiched around the 12. See where he's at. Okay, he went Firsker. I love Firsker. That's a great second tight end to have as well. T.Y. Hilton went at the 12-3. T.Y. has value this year. He really does. I'm interested to see how he connects with Carson Wentz and what that looks like. Another Colt went right after him, Nyheim Hines. And we are 4 picks away. We have 2 quarterbacks. I'm going to be looking to see what the tight end situation looks like. Oh, we've got Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Rob Gronkowski's available. Blake Jarwin as well. You know what? If Jonnu Smith does fall to me, I think I will snag Jonnu. I think there is value to be had there. We're not sure which tight end is going to outperform. I'm sure weekly, if you have them, it's going to be tricky to see which one's going to do it, or it'll be frustrating at times. But I think in best ball, it doesn't matter. You're looking for that boom. So I'm going to be going Jonnu if he falls to me. Jamison Crowder just went off. All right. Sean Watson went a little early, but I did not get to snag the shot. I'll have to grab somebody else as my quarterback as I come back. You don't want to be left with no third quarterback if you're doing, I've got Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson. I could leave it with that. I could. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I will. All right, 1 pick away. Let's see if we can get Jonnu. I've already been robbed twice today. I mean, Tim robbed me. Steven may have robbed me as well. Let's see. Okay, no, Rashad Perryman. It's not who I wanted. Good. All right, let's draft Jonnu. I think there is value to be had there. And Mr. Smith, welcome to New England and Bill Belichick. And I hope that you fulfill your contract, good sir. By the way, for those watching on YouTube, this is my water bottle / beer growler. I use this every day. Oh, it's not even showing up there. Okay, there you go. It's hard to see on the podcast. It's full of stickers. That's why. I love water. I drink water all the time. Keeps me less fat, right? Keeps me in good shape. Okay, Terrence Marshall Jr. went right after Jonnu Smith. We're about to end the 12th round. Looking at the wide receivers and running backs that are available to us. Cole Beasley, Gabriel Davis, Alexander Madison, Devin Singletary. It's not beautiful now. Now we're just trying to chase a little bit of upside. I do like Gabriel Davis. I do, as somebody who I do like. He's got touchdown upside in that offense, big time. So we'll see if it gets to me. We're 3 away. I'm not worried about the quarterback right now. I think our quarterbacks are fine. I'm going to just go 2 quarterbacks. I think the guy who actually won last year, the Best Ball Mania, I think he only had 2 quarterbacks. Or no, I think he had 3. I don't want to tell people. I think he had, but I think normally his build this year is just 2. So I think that's what it is. Yeah, he had 3, but this year his build is just 2. So I'm going to be going 2. All right. So Tua Tagovailoa went off. We had Chuba Hubbard go off. Devin Singletary, Blake Jarwin. Oh, and I am up. Okay, I like that. All right, let's go Gabe Davis here. Gabriel, welcome to the squad. You are my wide receiver number 5. I love that. And I've got Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Trey Sermon, Kenyon Drake, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, Gabriel Davis, Irv Smith, Jonnu Smith. A couple of Smiths and a Swift. Okay. All right. After Gabriel Davis, we had Philip Lindsay go off the board. Yeah, that Houston backfield is going to be interesting. You have a scat back, basically, in Philip Lindsay, who's an undersized back who could get on the field a lot if Houston's trailing, which they will be trailing. So I think that's a nice, like a 0 RB target if you're doing that strategy and you're trying to find that late round running back at 13-5. I think you could do way worse than Philip Lindsay, and I like that pick a lot. Cole Beasley went off a couple picks after Gabriel Davis. What you're seeing there is kind of the same thing with Sermon and Mostert earlier. Players going back-to-back or almost right after each other. People don't know. There's uncertainty, and that creates the depression in value for both, where they're kind of equalized, where we know in the end they're not going to be equalized. One's going to rise above. So I like that. It's the same thing you see with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston as well. Their value is driven down. Speaking of them, I don't know, has anyone sniffed the Jameis fruit yet? No, they have not. No one's biting on that apple, and I will not either. I mean, there's tremendous upside there. Sure. Maybe I'll talk myself into it. No. Could be. No. I'm not. Okay. Baker Mayfield off the board. Darrell Henderson, Gerald Everett. I like Gerald Everett in Seattle. That's a nice little sleeper pick right there. We're rounding out the 13th round. Dave is up. Dave's got 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. So my guess is as good as yours. Anything is on the board for him. We're stacking up similar. We got 1 extra wide receiver. He went with Carson Wentz. Not a bad option for his 3rd quarterback. And he's out the game, probably there. Alexander Madison went off the board at the 312, followed by Denzel Mims to start the 14th. All right, 5 rounds left. Let's make sure we can get our value. We're not going to be able to pair up, I don't think, any other player for a stack. Josh Allen's off the board. All my receivers are off the board. I'm not going to stack up Cam Newton with Jonnu Smith. I don't believe that's Cam Newton by himself, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know if he starts the whole year. That uncertainty with Mac Jones being drafted. Belichick normally, does whatever he wants. So, there's no. I mean, you saw it last year. You got Cam Newton got benched. So there's no guarantee that that doesn't happen again. So I think it makes it a tenuous proposition. I think there's other options there. We had Jeff Wilson go off the board, Stevenson go off the board, Rashad Penny, Hawkins from Atlanta go off the board, and we are up in 4. Check out the running back position real quick. We've got Jamal Williams, J.D. McKissick, Gainwell, Tariq Cohen, McKinnon in Kansas City. I'm not sure if I like that. If any of those, we have DeAndre Swift. So a Jamal Williams pick does make sense on this little running back run here if you can get to us. I also like J.D. McKissick. If anything happens to Antonio Gibson, or if they're losing, I know that Fitz likes to push the ball downfield, but I don't think McKissick is completely dead. But I do prefer Jamal Williams here since we have Swift, just in case Swift gets hurt. Then we've got the RB2 in that offense. So okay, Swift did come to us, so I'm going to grab Swift real quick. I don't think that's going to vault up our projections necessarily, but I think it's a smart pick just to have in this sense that there is going to be a lot of running that the Detroit Lions are going to try to do at least, and maybe they don't always accomplish it. If they don't, they're going to go to the air and pass. I know they like to dump off. Jared Goff, he can dump off. He dumped off to Todd Gurley tons. He did screens, so hopefully he can keep the running back in mind as well. And I've got both of them. So that offense, though, their defense is going to be bad as well. It's going to be one of the worst teams it's going to be the worst team in the division for sure. And at least that's my take on it. No offense to Dan Campbell, but I'm not a kneecaps guy, myself. I like my kneecaps. I am a kneecaps guy. I want to keep my kneecaps. All right. My man, John Brown. Oh, Smokey Brown. He went at the 14-10. That's a great little sneaky pick there. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the 14-11, rounding out the 14th round. Let's see what we got. Quarterback-wise, if we're looking for that value now, we've got Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, Ben Roethlisberger, and Jameis. I'm not in love with any of those necessarily. That's tricky wickets there. I might just have to stay with 2 QBs. It's not looking pretty now. Now we're just down to wide receiver 3s, particularly. So we're 3 picks away. Russell Gage just went. Russell Gage has a great opportunity. If Julio's gone, I love him in that situation. Daniel Jones is off the board. Quarterback, we've got Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold in Carolina. I don't think it's terrible. Sam Darnold in Carolina. Ben Roethlisberger as well. Ben Roethlisberger has a bunch of weapons. The situation is just his health, whether he's going to be upright all year. So most everybody does have 3 quarterbacks or 2 and getting their 3rd quarterback. So all right, Sam Darnold went right before me. So I don't love Big Ben. I don't really have any players, but I'll take him. That's with hesitancy. I think there's more value to be had in Ben than there is to be had in, I don't know, some of these other tertiary players who are backups. I do like on Ross St. Brown. I could have picked him. A mini picks away now though, so we'll see if he gets back to me. I will queue him up. I think he's somebody who has value. No one has been picked. I'm not sure if anyone's been picked from the New York Giants offense yet. I see Darius Slayton there. Sterling Shepard is there, and I wonder if the rookie was picked. He just got picked. Darius Slayton just was picked at 15-5. So the uncertainty in the Giants offense is creating value for those wide receivers as well. So you can kind of see how it affects when you don't know who's going to emerge when the rookies get brought in and there's not a clear path. There's not a clear split yet, and there's not a delineation between what the roles are going to look like and who's going to do what. There's value to be had, particularly in these best ball drafts. So keep that in mind when you're drafting. Paris Campbell just went off at the 15-6. Okay. We're not looking terrible right now. We do have some solid quarterbacks. Our projections are sound. But I do want to fill out the back end with, we only have, so I can do math right now, 7, we have 4 more picks. So I'm looking to grab at least 1 more running back, 2 more wide receivers, and a tight end. So actually, that'd be 3 more picks, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 3 more picks left. So running back, wide receivers are what we're going to be looking for right now. Wide receivers with upsides, if there's a path to more targets, and I'm not hoping for injuries or anything like that, but just thinking about how the offense goes. Maybe a veteran who's on the down cycle, maybe somebody who's a rookie who gets more opportunities. Somebody like Nico Collins. I do like Nico Collins a lot. I think he's somebody you could snag in the last part of your draft. Christian Kirk just went off. Zach Wilson was picked up. Alan Lazard. That's not a bad pick, Alan Lazard. The rookie's not been. I don't think he's been. Oh no, he did. The rookie was snagged. Dave Kluge got both Mari Rogers and Alan Lazard. Smart thinking there, Dave. So what Dave just did is he took that wide receiver 2-3 position in the Packers offense and he solidified it. And if anything happens with Devontae Adams, he's got both options there on the table. I like that. He's targeting an offense. Nico Collins just went off the board, so I'm not going to be able to steal him. So a lot of people thinking similarly at the end of the draft. I like to see that. My thinking isn't unique necessarily, but I do think there's players that have upside in offenses and there's uncertainties around them that give them that appeal. And I think people are seizing that. So there are some other late round targets. I like Dwayne Eskridge and I have Tyler Lockett. Anything happens to him, Dwayne Eskridge slides more into that slot role. I think there could be upside there. So I'm expecting to snag him. He's a little bit further down, and I did lose my man a while back. I didn't let you guys know I lost St. Brown a while back out of my queue. So I am 2 picks away. Really love to get Dwayne Eskridge in my fold at wide receiver. It might be a little bit early, but I don't want to risk it. And the wide receiver value here, I mean, who knows, right? You're not even sure what's going to happen at this side of the draft. You're so far down the end that now that it is grasping, but that's okay. I want to grasp within the framework of what I've set up. I have Russell Wilson, so I want to grab another one of his weapons. Cole Kmet went at 16-7. Backtracking, we had Gainwell and Troutman go off. Treat Cohen went. All right, so we've got Eskridge. We're going to get him. He is on our squad. All right, we got him. Next up, we've got 2 picks. We've got quarterback settled. I'm looking for running back, wide receiver, or tight end. Okay, I'm going to put all of those out there and available. I'm not going to pull an Ian Hartitz and go with Chris Herndon. I can't. I just can't let myself do it, Ian. I'm sorry. I love you, brother, but I love you too much to do that. Watch him blow up. Oh my gosh, now I'm doubting myself. Now, for the longest time, Ian was pushing and he was touting a possible blow up from Chris Herndon, and it just never ever happened. But with Zach Wilson there, he said he's not dead. He could come back. So I don't think so. And down there, though, there's not a lot of options. OJ Howard, there's some upside there. I actually do think there's some upside. I've got Chris Godwin, so I'm targeting that offense already. That could be somebody I get. All right. We had Myers, Brown go off the board, Zach Ertz, James White, Deshaun Jackson. All right, we are on the clock. Malcolm Brown. We are not going to go OJ Howard because I know he'll be available with my last pick. No one's touching him. Let me see where we're at now in these offenses. You know what? I'm going to go Josh Palmer. I've got Keenan Allen. Anything happens to him, I got my man Josh Palmer as a backup. Getting that target volume if he goes down. Got myself 2 Chargers now. Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then we'll see if we can snag OJ Howard on the way out, or if there's any other running back that we want to sneak onto our squad as well. Not a lot of choices left on the board. Damian Williams, Tevin Coleman, Ahmed, Todd Gurley. No, we will not be getting another running back. We're out of the running back business. Let's check the tight end totals. OJ Howard's still available. Pat Freiermuth from Pittsburgh. I have Ben Roethlisberger. That could be an option. Eric Ebron is gone. Jared Cook just went. Jared Cook would have been a great pick instead of Josh Palmer. But you know what? It's okay. I'm locked in. I've got Josh Palmer. I'm happy. I think Cook, we've previewed him previously. He does have a lot of upside. Particularly touchdown upside in the red zone to give Herbert. I mean, I think I project him for 7 touchdowns this year. And McKitty coming in doesn't necessarily do anything to that projection. Maybe take 1 away, if anything. But I think McKitty's a great blocker, particularly an inline blocker, and being able to steal that edge is going to be important. They were terrible last year on the edges, some of the worst in the NFL, particularly to the left side. I think they were a whole point, 1 yard, so a whole over a yard average less than the league running to the left. So, that's not good. You need to be able to run the football, and I think bringing him in is more of a design to help give them more of an edge on the edge, not particularly in the red zone or being as a passing, route running tight end. So, but Jared Cook in the 17th round, great pick. I love that. Okay, Eric Ebron just went off the board at 17-12. MVS, the pick before Jared Goff. So we're down to the very last round here. We have Brian Edwards from Vegas just went off. Kerryon Johnson. It says from Detroit, but they got rid of him. He's not there anymore. Let's see. We are about 5 picks away. I'm going to put OJ Howard in my queue. Look at also to see if there's any other wide receivers I want to particularly target. KJ Hamler. I do like him this year. I'm not sure if I want to grab him or not. Demarcus Robinson. Oh, Julian Guyton. You know what? Guyton's a big, long play touchdown machine. Not machine, but I went and watched his highlights, so I'm a little bit, biased right now, seeing how he connected. He does have the speed to get by, particularly those slot corners, those second corners that he's facing. Third man on the totem pole. I do want to have another tight end though, so I'm going to stick with Howard. All right, we are 4 picks away. Donald Parham just went off the board. I like that pick. Excellent pick. Another Charger. Bolt up, Blue Nation. There you go. We've got a lot of Chargers selected in this draft. No Joshua Kelly though. No Justin Jackson so far. So it looks like there's no RB2 being picked from the Chargers. All RB1. And I think that's a mistake. That is a mistake. Oh, no, Joshua Kelly was selected. Okay, all right, good. Must have missed that one during one of my rantings. All right. You're 2 picks away. OJ Howard still available. AJ Green just went. Tim Tebow. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not sure Tim Tebow makes the team, Jordan, but I think OJ Howard's going to make the team. I think they've committed to him. All right, 1 more pick, and then it'll be mine. Come on. Thanks for sticking with us, by the way. If you've watched this whole draft, it takes about half an hour to do a best ball draft, so you do need to commit the time to it. I appreciate everybody who has jumped in. I'm going to get my man OJ Howard, from Jordan to Tim to Phil to Chris to Dave to Mike to everybody. Thank you guys for drafting with me today. For everybody who watched over at the Guilty as Charged Nation, thank you for joining me as well. There'll be more best ball drafts coming up. There'll also be more redraft strategy coming up as well. I am Scott Simpson, Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. You can find me there. If you're going to sign up for Underdog, please use code NIMBLE. I would love to play with you. Please at me on Twitter at Nimble W Numbers. I'd be glad to jump into a draft with you anytime. Thank you guys for joining me today. Check out all the Guilty as Charged podcast info over at Blue Wire. You guys are the best. Guys, see you next week. Peace.